This is a tutorial on BOA, which is a very easy jet that has a cockpit, tail fins, and rear wings. And the main feature is these kind of engines in the wing, which I really like. Also a very small feature, it goes kind of flat at the back, like completely flat, which is a thing I also enjoy. But the main thing is these engines that are built into the wings. And so let's get folding. So to fold BOA, you need a square sheet of paper, and for one of the steps you might need a pencil. And so we'll begin by folding this top corner to the bottom corner. And then we'll unfold that, flip that over, and make sure it's vertical, and fold the top point to the bottom point. Next, we're gonna stand this flap, open it, and then make sure to crease all the way into that pocket, and then squash it down. And we're gonna flip it over, stand this flap, open it, make sure to crease all the way into the pocket, and I'll squash it right down. It's a step I normally do with many of my jets. And now we're going to take this bottom point to the top point. Make sure to not tear your paper at these corners. And now we're gonna flip it over and fold this diagonal edge into the center, but only one layer, don't grab the second one. Do the same thing on the other side, just folding it into the center. Like that. And next we're gonna unfold that, stand this flap, open it, and squash it down. This is not the step that you need the pencil, but it'll help to kind of poke all the way to this point and flatten it down. And we're only going to do this on this flap, so this sort of flap. Fold this edge into the center crease. Unfold that and fold this flap over. Next we're going to do those two steps on the other side, so just squashing it down, using the pencil to help you, and then flatten it, then fold, and we're going to fold this edge into the center. Unfold that and bring this flap over. And now we're going to make the cockpit, so we're going to do a petal fold. So take this point to the bottom point. And crease here. And you kind of have to manipulate this pocket so it kind of doesn't bubble this pocket. And next we cut, make sure you fold into the corners. Now we could fold in, and we're making a new crease right here. Make sure it doesn't kink, sort of. Let's just flatten that down. Make sure it doesn't tear there. It's okay if it tears, but try to make it not tear. The model's cleaner. Fold this point to those two creases, these two creases, so right at that point. Now we're going to rotate it, and we're going to fold from this point, and we're going to land this edge right on itself. So it goes from that corner and the edge lands on itself. Next, we're going to unfold that, do the same thing, so kind of take it down at that corner and land this edge on itself. And now we're going to this layer, we're going to kind of pop this trap paper out. Hold on. Unfold that layer and get out that trap paper and unfold this layer and flatten it. You could kink right here, so you could use the pencil. So this is not the step that will be needing the pencil, but you know, it helps. And now we're going to swivel this along the edge of this layer. Swivel that and flatten it into this position. And pull the trap paper under here, unfold that layer, kind of get rid of the kink there, and flatten it. Like so. Next, we're gonna fold this triangle over, and this is a step where you probably will want to use a pencil. And so we're gonna kind of open this up all the way to this point, because a lot of time it's very common to not reach that point, and the cockpit is not unequal. So that's why you should use a pencil on this step. And then you'll flatten it down. And now we got the cockpit and the top of our plane. And you can see that the cockpit can actually open and close, but not as much when we do in the final design. As you can see, you have to grab the layers really well. It sort of opens, but not much really. And you have to hold the layers very tightly. And now we have one small detail. So for the tiniest bit of that triangle, so like a very tiny section, and now we're gonna reverse that triangle. So now it's kind of this diamond, but it's kind of flat over here, which that's how we want it. Oh. And now we're gonna flip it over, hold this edge into the center. Also, you can use this edge as a reference. If the center crease is not visible, do the same thing on the other side. Next, unfold that. Now take this top point of this layer, fold to the bottom, but make a pinch crease. We have these two creases there. You could fold probably there, around there. So it goes it only goes a little bit in the center. And we're gonna fold one layer in, and to fold the wings, we're gonna fold from where that pinch crease intersects the center to the back corner. And It goes straight to the back corner. And do the same thing on the other side. You could fold it in half and match the wing. Now we could put that back over, and the wings should be equal. And they should emit from the same point and end at the same point. And now we got our wings. Now we're gonna make the tail fins, and so now we're gonna fold from this point and the back corner. It's normally this edge will be perpendicular to the center crease, but for this one we want it a little slanted. It's a very unusual way to make tail fins. Do the same thing on the other side. Just fold from this point to that back corner. Don't tear the paper. Make sure to not tear the paper. And now we're going to fold this edge to this edge. So just folding it back along itself. Do the same thing, so just folding this edge to this edge. And now we're going to fold between this corner and kind of this corner right here. And it will go out of this edge. It's okay because it won't affect the model that much. And do the same thing on the other side, so fold to this corner to this corner. It probably wants to naturally do that right here, so you don't have to worry about it. You're just going further. And next we're going to unfold all of those, and now we're going to reverse some creases. We're going to open it up here. So these three creases, 1, 2, 3, are fine, but make sure to crease over here so it won't kink at the spot. This plane has lots of spots where it might kink. That's why you would want a pencil. So crease all the way here. Next we're gonna reverse. So we're gonna reverse these last two creases. Just that, and fold and reverse the last crease. And you should get the sort of, it should be like this orientation. So these two are mountain and these three are valley. Fold that back. We'll worry about this triangle later. So just do the same thing on the other side. So just fold it like this. Fold along these three creases, which are in the same direction. And then reverse this crease. And now reverse this last crease. And you can see since I creased all the way in, there's no kinks here. And so now we're going to fix these sort of flaps that stick out of the actual fins. So we're kind of going to open it up here and reverse the creases. It's not an exact straight line, it's kind of two diagonal verging to the same point. So just kind of mount and fold both at the same time. No, it might not stay flat, but just close it back. And it should get rid of it. Sometimes it will cover this layer, but sometimes it won't, but that's okay if it's unequal. It won't affect the flight or anything. So just doing the same thing, so kind of opening it up, kind of mounting folding these two creases, and then just flatten it. And now we're ready to jet fold, so we're gonna follow along the wing edge. And you want it, this not become a point. Do it sort of flat, or it doesn't become a point. Yeah, so it doesn't go to a point here. It kind of could continue, and so do the same thing on the other side. Also, don't fold beyond the center crease, or else it'll kind of mess up the first. And now we're going to use these two creases to jet fold, which now, so face very sharply on this, just very thoroughly, especially the cockpit, because sometimes it may want to open or unfold, stuff like that. And make sure these two, it gets equal at the end. So make sure they match instead of kind of one extending further out than the other. And now you could fold up your wings and tail fin. So fold the tail fin first, rear wing, and then the actual one. Flip it over and do the same thing. So first tail fin, then rear wing, and then wing. Yeah, we're going to position these fins later. And so now we're going to lock it. Also, if there's a flap here, just tuck it under. Or just sort of fold it up into the plane. Okay. And so now we're going to fold this edge to the wing. And make sure it goes to the back corner, then it will properly lock. Unfold and fold this edge to that crease. Make sure it's the back edge. And still going up to that back corner. And then so now we're going to tuck this we're going to fold this whole flap up and into the plane. And to make it even more secure, unfold that and tuck it through. We tuck it into any of these pockets. We'll make the crease first, and then tuck it in. So that actually locks the plane like really well. And make sure it's sort of flat here. Just flatten it sort of. And so now we're going to make we just have to make the engines and kind of adjust the angles of these. Alright, so I think you want to angle the wings up when you're making the engine, so kind of open it, but pinch it about halfway, kind of squash it sort of. And so that kind of makes an engine. You can make it smaller or bigger by just pinching even further in and not really squashing, or just only pinching a little bit and kind of squash it like a lot. I like to make it about halfway from here and sort of like an oval, like here, and do the same thing on the other side. So opening this pocket, pinching about halfway, make sure it stays open, and you could kind of squash it, and that makes our engine, sometimes it'll sag the first time you do it. You have to squash lots of times to make sure it kind of stays in that position. And now we could angle the wings up. Don't do it at the front, or else the engines will be misshaped or not shaped properly. And make the fins vertical and the rear wings slightly upward than the actual wings, just like this. And so yeah, this is a finished plane. This actually flies really well with no up elevator. You could add the tiniest bit, but it will still fly similarly. And so I hope you had fun folding it.